Yeah, people, here we are with part 4 of my CD collection. Sorry there's been a bit of a gap in uploads recently, but I got busy. Uh, so, again, I've got another batch of albums, only this time they're going to be in alphabetical order, because I thought it would be a good idea to just sort of rearrange my collection. Then in hindsight realised that I probably should have done that after I'd finished doing all my uploads, but I've kept track of how many albums I've shown, I've written them all down and stuff, so there will be no repeats in this. Just picked a random stack of albums. I think we're starting at T right now, because that was sort of the top shelf when I didn't have to fiddle around with anything. So without further ado, here we go. The first album we have here is Suicide Pact You First by Therapy. Admittedly, this isn't my favourite Therapy album, that would be Trouble Gum. But it's a solid album, sort of Irish punk stuff. I found this in a thrift store for like 50 pence or something. So I mean, I like Therapy, so I picked it up. But again, it's not really my favourite. So, but that's kind of it, really. Next we have I'm gonna get the pronunciation of this album title wrong because I can't speak Norwegian. But this is Herdlandet by Taka, and I'm really sorry to any Norwegian subscribers that have probably just visibly cringed at my pronunciation of this. This is from 2005. This is my second favourite Taka release, apart from their debut. But again, solid, really true underground Norwegian black metal from Bergen. It's excellent. It's my favourite. Speaking of Taka and their debut, I have the Relapse Records. I think this was on Relapse. No, Peaceful. Peaceful Records re-release of Natastid Porten Vid by Taka, which is my favourite of his albums. And I think the opening to the first track is probably the most haunting, true evil thing ever, and I really dig it. I got this for Christmas. Oh dear, the disc fell out. I got this for Christmas from my parents last year, I think, and I'm really happy with it. And it's all black. You've got nothing to really look at. All the lyrics are written in runes, so even if I could speak Norwegian, I'm on a bit of a hiding to nothing here. But yeah, that's Did Support and Vid by Taka. Next we have one of my favourite albums, my personal favourite albums ever. The original pressing of Anima by Tool. I'm a big Tool fan. I really like their early stuff. Very big Tool fan. This is probably my favourite album. I got this used, and this is fucking ancient. Like, this is really old. But I think this is the first press. A little artwork and a picture of Bill Hicks on the insert. This is Tool and Bill Hicks, but apparently they're very tight with each other. If you listen to Tool, this is kind of where it all started. This was their sort of major debut, the big kind of when Tool really took off. This was brought out on Volcano Records, or Volcanic Records, I think. Might be Volcano. Yeah, Volcano Entertainment. But no, this is my favourite Tool album, bar none. If you haven't checked it out, you really should look for it because it's very good. Next, we've got another Tool release, which I was kind of surprised to find. Actually, this is their first EP, maybe first or second EP, but this is Opiate, which I think this is the original. It's got 6 tracks on it, including live. This is Jerk Off, which was recorded live, as well as Cold and Ugly. This is another original. I found this really cheap in the same place I got Anima from, and apparently this is kind of hard to find now. The trippy artwork on the front and quite a bit more sort of weird artwork on the out on the cover. Yeah. No, this is cool. It's a good piece of Tool history to have. I think I'm glad to have it in my collection. Next, we actually have one of my first complete discographies. I've got a few like full discographies in here, and this is the Typo Negative discography. I love Typo, they're another one of my favourite bands. So we're going to kind of start in backwards. We're going to start sort of backwards with Dead Again from 2009. Either 2009 or 2007. My timeline's a bit sketchy. This is actually one of my favourite Typo albums, kind of a return to form for their early stuff. It's a bit more upbeat, a bit more sort of aggressive, and it's a shame that this was actually their final album before Peter Steele's death in 2010. But I really like Tripping a Blind Man, All Hail and Farewell to Britain and stuff. This is September Sun as well, so a good selection of tracks on it. This is one of my top Typo Negative albums. Next we have the special edition 2 CD version of Life is Killing Me, which I really, again, I like this album. This is from 2003, I believe. The bonus disc has Out of the Fire, Kane's Theme, the remix of Christian Woman, Suspended in Dusk, Blood and Fire, Out of the Ashes mix, cover of Black Sabbath, which is excellent. I love Black Sabbath, and Typo and Black Sabbath together is kind of a very cool thing. Just a bunch of remixes and things, and the whole Life is Killing Me album. I really like the art on the discs as well. It's the original album, and then we got the same, but like really bright green, which I think is pretty cool. Followed by, I think this was the last Typo album I bought, because I never got them in order. I was just like, I bought the ones I was missing. So we've got World Coming Down. Not my favourite Typo album, I must admit. I've not really listened to it that much, certainly not as much as the others, but again, I wanted to get it just to complete the collection. I'm actually probably going to listen to this once we've finished the video, because I don't give it as much attention as I should. So that's World Coming Down. Next we have my first Typo album. This is the first one I ever got. We have October Rust. This is still my favourite, one of, next like their first couple of albums, but this was the first Typo album I ever listened to. My Girlfriend's Girlfriend was my first Typo Negative song, and I really liked this album. It's very romantic, very dark, but I actually bought this as a gift for one of my ex-girlfriends, because she's actually responsible for getting me into Typo Negative. I bought it for her for Christmas or something from a place called Music Mania in Hanley in Stoke. If any of my subscribers are from around that area, I recommend you drop into Music Mania, because it's fantastic, little second-hand record stuff. But I bought this for her as a Christmas present, and then we went shopping back there sort of afterwards, after Christmas. She found the Typo box set and bought that instead, and then just gave this to me, because I started collecting CDs properly around that time, so she sort of gave it to me as a gift, and then I bought all the rest to sort of follow on. But this is kind of special to me, because it's my first taste of Typo Negative, and I couldn't recommend this one highly enough. Next we got Bloody Kisses. This, for many people, this was their first Typo album. Christian Woman is, again, one of my favourite Typo songs. I like this album. This is another solid release from Typo, and I really quite like the artwork on the disc. It's the bloody kiss mark. But apparently the box set that I mentioned a bit ago, the Typo Complete Collection, the artwork isn't expanded, the discs don't have any, they're just kind of like black discs with the album title on, so I find it just better to buy the actual releases rather than a compendium, but I guess it's up to you. If that's your bag, then you do that. This one I got as a present. This is like one of my favourite Typo releases. This is The Origin of the Feces, which is a it's not a live album, but it is a live album because they just put like crowd noises in. It's a remix and reworking of their first record, and this is the digitally remastered gold disc with new expanded packaging. Some CD players have a problem with playing gold discs. Luckily, mine doesn't. I think they're kind of cool. I don't really see the appeal of them, but you know, there's a gold disc. They're pretty cool. And this is a cool thing to have, but this is my favourite Taco release. I prefer it over their first one. It's essentially just the same album, except the arrangements are slightly different. Maybe the lyrics and bits have been changed up, but I prefer this one over their debut, which we are actually coming to now. This is Slow, Deep and Hard. This was made up of exclusively leftover Carnivore material, which is pretty nifty. This was very tragic, very deep, very dark, very emotional, very Peter was a very damaged man around the time of writing this. This was brought out on Road Racer Records, which was Roadrunner's name before they changed it to Roadrunner. I don't know exactly when that happened, but yeah. So that's my complete Negative discography. I was debating whether or not to put all my discographies in a separate video, but there's not really much point if I'm showing off my collection. Now we're getting on to the S section, with a few that I've already shown, so I'm just sort of taking those out while I'm going through them. But this is the limited double disc CD DVD combo of Love and Other Disasters by Sonic Syndicate. This was my first Sonic Syndicate album, and it's still probably the only one I really listen to. I'm not really keen on them much now anymore. Certainly after Roland and Roger left. Robin? No. I think it's Roger, but the original vocalist and the guitarist. Roland, I prefer his work to the new guy. This is melodic death metal, sort of with a bit more of a, you know, it's very very accessible. You know, there's just this sort of Swedish melodic death metal with, you know, clean singing and growls and stuff. It's nothing spectacular, but if I were to recommend a few tracks from here, it would be Encaged, Jack of Diamonds, and Power Shift. I really like Power Shift. That's probably my favourite one on this album. If this is your bag, if you know, melodic death metal is your thing, check this out. You can't really go far wrong with it. Next up, we've got one of my first purchases from Music Mania. This was the first time I started really shopping at home. I found this album. Well, I found a song where I got sent a little. This was way back in sort of like 2006, 2007. I got emailed a little. I got a USB stick that had a bunch of tracks on, and I think it was. Yeah, it was Beneath the Machine. It had one of the tracks from this album on, and then I found this in the record store. I thought, oh no, what nice! I've not seen this in ages. But apparently this band don't exist anymore after releasing a couple of albums. This is Road to Bloodshed by Sanctity. This is sort of hard rock, thrashy business. Beloved Killer and Beneath the Machine are the two I would recommend from this album. Brought out on Roadrunner. I think maybe the vocalist either went missing or like quit or something. I'm not really up to the history of this band, but there they all are. Being suitably badass. But I'd check this out because I do recommend it. So this is, again, I've not really given much attention to this album. I kind of just bought it, listened to it, and sort of stuffed it away in my wardrobe where I could keep all my CDs. But it's not. I'm going to probably revisit this as well during my re-listen to World Coming Down. But yeah, that's Road to Bloodshed by Sanctity. Next up we have Serpents Unleashed by Skeleton Witch. This was a first press. I bought this on release. I pre-ordered it. This was an album I got kind of burned on, actually, because I pre-ordered it after listening to Burn From Bone, which is an excellent song. It was my first Skeleton Witch song. I listened to it and I thought, holy shit, this is fucking amazing. So I'm going to order this. And I did. And in my opinion, like, the only good song on this is Burn From Bone. The rest of them are just kind of forgettable. But no, it's still, I suppose if Skeleton Witch is a band that you've been into for a long time, they're like Uncle Acid in the way that they've found a niche and they've stuck to it. There's nothing new, their releases and stuff like that, but watching some of their live videos, they seem like a band that I would like to catch live. But you should check out Skeleton Witch, specifically Burn From Bone, because that's the starting point for me. Sort of black and thrash, the perfect sort of combination of black metal and thrash metal together, and they're all from Canada, and they're all like really nice people apparently. But yeah, Burn From Bone by Skeleton Witch, good album, check it. Next is a little curveball. This is Greatest Hits by Stevie Ray Vaughan, because I'm big on my metal and all onto like my metal and black metal, death metal and stuff, but I'm also really into blues. And this is from one of my favourite guitar players and my favourite blues vocalists ever, Mr. Stevie Ray Vaughan, who tragically passed away in a helicopter accident in 1994. This is just a compilation. This is, I believe, the same track listing as Couldn't Stand the Weather, Greatest Hits Volume 2. This is just got I think this is a repress for a certain market, but it's just a compilation. It's got Taxman, Texas Flood, The House is Rockin', Pride and Joy, Tightrope, Little Wing. Really great version of Little Wing, actually. It's instrumental, complete, just like soulful guitar playing. It's fucking awesome. Little Wing, Crossfire, Change It, Cold Shot, Can't Stand the Weather, Life Without You, that's it. Yeah. Part 2 has Pride and Joy and stuff on it, which is sorry. I was going to get part 2 to this to have like the little set, because I quite enjoy Stevie Ray stuff. I actually play this a lot during the summer. I'll have it in the car and it'll just be like in the CD changer, come around like all the time. But I dig this album and I dig blues, and Stevie is an awesome guitar player. Next we have Self-Destructive Pattern by Spineshank. Again, they're not really my thing anymore. I'm kind of straying away from the whole new metal business, but when I was sort of getting into metal, Spineshank were one of the bands that my friend showed me to kind of ignite my passion within sort of heavier music. And I'll always hold a candle to Beginning of the End, Violent Moose, and even Play God from this album, I think. Yeah, it could be. But yeah, I've got this Spineshank album, and I have The Height of Callousness, which is another Spineshank record, which has the first Spineshank song I ever heard, which was New Disease, I think. I heard this on a music channel when I was in Greece on holiday back in like 2009 or something, and I made a list. I wrote it down. I was like, I need to get this album. I need to listen to more of them. So I did. I dig Spineshank. That's sort of electronic new metal goodness. If that's your thing, you should listen to them. I mean, I could get a lot of shit for having some new metal in my collection, but past caring. I haven't had any like abuse from anyone yet, so I'm quite pleased with that. Next up, we have Pinnacle of Bedlam by Suffocation. I don't have any early Suffocation. I would like some, but I was debating picking this up, so I kind of put it off a little, because it is from 2013. I put it off a bit, and then I went to see Suffocation and Nile in September last year. Saw them absolutely fucking blown away. I've always liked Suffocation, but I've never got around to seeing them or really got around to buying any of their stuff. But as soon as I saw Suffocation, I went out and bought this immediately. And As Grace Descends is probably the heaviest song ever. Frank Mullen's Air Chops give me life. I really dig Suffocation, and the cover art is fucking insane. Check that out. It's cool. Good technical death metal. Really old school American death metal. Really fucking good. And I dig Suffocation. I need to buy more of their stuff. Next, we got one of the first CDs I ever bought. We're talking way back in sort of 2005 or something. I'm not even sure if this still works. I've had it for so long. We got the self-titled by Slipknot. This is still my favourite Slipknot album. Again, they're not particularly my thing anymore. I don't go out of my way to listen to Slipknot, but I have it in my collection. Because I feel that Slipknot was a gateway band for a lot of people. I don't know, I will always like this album, even though I've not really listened to it as much as I used to. But I can't really say much about this that nobody else has already heard or said themselves. So I'm just going to move straight on to the next one. Okay, we've got maybe 2 or 3 albums left. 3 albums left now. This is a little shorter than my other videos. Well, it could be if I don't stop talking. But this album was actually given to me by my mum. And this is another bit of a curveball for you. This is Supernatural by Santana. So this has tracks like Smooth and Maria and stuff. This was my first Santana album. Many people's first Santana album actually, and my mum just sort of gave me this because we always used to play it in the car when I was growing up, when I was really little. We'd always just have Smooth on and stuff. But I started collecting CDs, and my mum was just like, "Oh well, why don't you take this?" She gave me her copy of Supernatural. I believe this is an original because it's still got a big old price sticker on it. But yeah, can't really say too much about Carlos Santana that other people haven't. So this is my favourite Santana album personally, so I can't recommend this one highly enough. Okay, we're moving on to our last 2. Can't quite remember whether I've shown this album in my last video, but if I have, sue me. We got South of Heaven by Slayer. What can I say? It's another Slayer album. It's another thrash album. They've been releasing the same album since Raining Blood. My last album is one of my favourite thrash albums of all time. We've got Arise by Sepultura. I love this album. This is probably my favourite Sepultura album next to Chaos AD. Super cool, fast, quick thrash, and like Cavalera era Sepultura will always be my favourite Sepultura. Again, this is another one I can't really say a lot about. If you haven't listened to it, go and listen to it, and then I hope you guys like it, because this again is my favourite Sepultura album. Desperate Cry, Dead Embryonic Cells, Arise, Infected Voice, Under Siege. This is cool. I believe actually this album is a Dutch pressing, but it's a first pressing, but it's from like the European to Dutch market. I'm not sure if the disc is slightly different, because I've never seen any other versions apart from this, but it's cool artwork. I'm actually planning to paint the little Sepultura S logo on the back of one of my jackets at some point. I lack currently the funds and the artistic talent to do so, but there you go. But that is my last album for part 4 of my CD collection. I hope you guys liked it. As always, like, comment, subscribe, let me know, if you've discovered any artists from my videos and stuff, and leave me a shout in the comment box, and I will see you all again soon. And sorry for the delay with uploading and stuff. Like I said, I got busy. Sometimes life gets in the way, but I hope you enjoy, and I will be back very soon with more videos and another collection update. until then, see you guys soon.